Hey church, Pastor Gary here with today's Overflow, reading from Acts chapter 18, and in this chapter, Paul, a couple of big things happen to Paul. Let me go back. We're reading through the New Testament 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week, asking God to teach us, asking God looking to get closer to Jesus, right? Understand His call on our lives and the significance of that call. Um, I'm just sharing my thoughts, my reflections, and encourage you to share yours. You can put them in the comments, post them, social media, what have you, about what God is showing you as you seek to follow Him. Um, but in today's text, we have Paul who it says makes a vow and he shaves off all his hair. We're approaching Lent season where people will give up chocolate or bread, or they'll commit to praying for before meals, or whatever. I don't know what people do, but it's just a season of preparation for Easter, and so what makes me think of Paul here is that we might do things that I don't know are private and personal, and that's certainly a place for that, a personal devotion, not to flaunt our spirituality, right? But Paul makes it public, shaves off all his hair. Everybody can see that this man is living under a vow of purity, a vow of holiness. And then the church, where it goes on, is in verse 21. He left them at Corinth, and he promised, "I will come back if it is God's will." And then he set sail from Ephesus. I'll come back if it's God's will. He had made a vow to God. And so from that point forward, everything was filtered through God's will for him. Everything, I want to come back. If God wills it, I will come back. That if it's God's will became a signature of the early church. I believe I read in Latin it was Deo volente, which means divine volition, right? You might think of it as that, like God's will, that they would sign letters, Deo volente, in Latin. Maybe again it could come this Lenten season that it would become our signature again, if God's will. And we make that vow like Paul did. He shaved his head. We don't have to shave our head. Well, you might feel God calling you to do that, but to make the stand, to make the proclamation to yourself, to God in your heart of hearts, that yes, I'm living for God's will. And I'll do it if it's God's will. I'll surrender to God's will. I'll do anything if it's God's will. Sorry, speaking to me. Have a great day. Deo volente. God bless you. Bye-bye.